Hello, everyone. Welcome to another MHT Conversation. And my name is Seema. I'm going to be host for this session. Today, we have a very special guest, Miss Bhumika Kaushik, who wants to talk about her experience with bullying as well as body shaming in Indian schools. So, hi, Bhumika. How are you?
Hi Seema, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so glad you can come on board with MHT and talk about your experience with bullying and body shaming and how that impacted your mental health. Even back in when you were school and even today, if you could talk to us and tell the speakers about how it is still impacting your mental health, that would be great. So, Bhumika, let's start by introducing you to the viewers. Can you tell the viewers about yourself a little bit?
Yeah, okay. So my name is Bhumika Kaushik and I belong to Chandigarh. And I did my entire schooling from Chandigarh. I did my MBA from Pune Symbiosis, and from there I went on to pursue advertising in Bombay. So I'm currently a marketing communications professional, and very recently I have identified myself as a writer. So I'm really glad about that. And I'm a trained Kathak dancer. So yeah, that's pretty much about me.
That's interesting. Really nice to know about you, and especially, I would like to know more about your writing. So I know that you have a blog also going on.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we can talk about that with our viewers as well during the session. So
yeah,
when we talk about bullying, we know that it's very prevalent in India, in schools in India, even in colleges, but
yeah,
not much is done about that. Even
yeah.
when I talk to my parents about it, they're like, "Yeah, that happens." So I mean, that's their reaction. So can you
Yes, yes.
talk about what was bullying like to you when you were in school, and how
Yeah.
it started? What were the reasons? How did it go on?
I missed what you said, so if you can just repeat
Yeah,
that.
yeah, sure. So, uh, as you wanted to share about the bullying experience that you experienced in school, and
Yeah.
yeah, even we are, quite aware, cognizant of the fact that bullying happens in school. It happens even in
Yeah.
colleges, but
College,
nothing is
even in
done about.
workplaces.
Yeah, even at workplaces, but nothing is done about it. Everybody just dismisses the whole concept. So I want to know from you, what was bullying for you like, especially when you were in school. How did it start and how did it go on?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm here.
uh
Yeah. So Seema, I studied for 14 years of my life in an all-girls school,
yeah.
and the reason why I was bullied, when I think about it now, is so ridiculous. I was actually bullied for my facial hair and my body hair. So because of a hormonal disturbance in my body, which I didn't know back then even existed, like I had a lot of unnatural amount of hair on my body. So we used to wear skirts in schools as a uniform. So naturally the body had showed. And right after class 6, when I hit puberty, this started happening. And girls are mean. Girls are very mean, more than you can imagine. And so I was throughout. Throughout from my sixth till the time I graduated from my high school, this kept going on. I mean, my achievements, like I was in the school cabinet, I was in the school dance team, all of that was overlooked. Every time anyone would pass me in the corridor, they just randomly used to pass a comment on my body hair, that why don't you get your waxing done, why don't you shave off your hair on your chin. And so much so that even teachers, sometimes I know they did it out of concern, concern, but people used to come and tell me that, you're good looking, you're a good looking girl, but if you do something about your hair, maybe you'll look better. No, I can't do something about my hair because it's so natural. And at that point of time, being a kid, I just didn't know how to make sense of this entire thing, and it traumatized me to such an extent that I stopped even believing the fact that, I'm beautiful the way I am. People used to come and tell me that you're beautiful. Why don't you believe the fact that you're beautiful? But I was so scarred,
Yeah,
up until then, that I never believed this fact. And from a very young age, I've had to indulge in painful practices like lasers and waxing on the face, and razors on the face. So
yeah,
these things leave such an impact on your heart. And I still remember till date, I have a problem when someone touches this area of mine. I just immediately recoil, because I'm so conditioned like that. And this started in school, this continued in college, where you become so conscious of yourself. I still remember, up until 2 years back, I just used to buy full sleeves for myself,
right,
because you just can't keep up with your waxing schedule forever. So I used to keep pulling my sleeves down every time I even felt that someone is looking at my arms, or someone is looking at my hairy knuckles. So this way it has really impacted how I felt growing up, how my relationship turned out to be with friends, how my romantic relationships turned out to be, or how my relationships with my family turned out to be, because I was a very introverted and a very recluse child. So when that bullying was happening all throughout school, all throughout college, I couldn't speak up. I couldn't tell anyone that, this is what is happening with me. And I couldn't myself understand that this is wrong, and I need to stand up for it. I need to stand up for myself. So it kept happening. Incidents like, people making up songs just to, make fun of my body hair, or,
right,
people randomly touching my arms just to see that, why do you have so much hair, or people just giving me advices out of the blue that, you should try waxing. And I still remember the first time I got my waxing done, it was like everyone was talking about it, that, oh, she got her waxing done. And which is ridiculous now when you think about it. But this was the entire journey of getting bullied for something so ridiculous, and something I have no control over. Nobody has any control over it.
right. Absolutely. And as you said, it was a very young age for you to also,
Yeah,
acquainted with these changes that were happening with your body. And you said there was a
yeah,
hormone imbalance also that you weren't aware of
yeah.
back in that
Back then.
time. So
Yeah,
I can totally understand. So Bhumika, can you tell me if there came a point that this got so disturbing that it affected probably your academics or your social relationships, or
yeah,
even to a point that you wanted to seek help of a professional?
yeah. I still remember, so I'm a trained Kathak dancer, Seema, and going up on stage doing Kathak meant that we had to wear certain dresses that revealed your body parts. And of course, for me, it revealed my body hair. So I still remember once I performed, and people really made fun of me that, waxing karwale, why are you going on stage like that? So that impacted me so much that I stopped dancing altogether. Like, I was like, I don't want to do this, and I'm one person who loves dancing. Like, it's like the foremost thing for me to express myself. Academics, not really, but the general mental health took such a hit, because one thing, I wasn't able to speak about it to anyone. And second thing, because it was so continuous, and going to school, wanting to go to school every day became such a task for me. And it kept piling on for years, kept piling on for years. Definitely it impacted my romantic relationships also, because I felt that if girls could do it, what
Mm,
would stop the boys, to say anything just like that. So for a long time, and still, I'll be very honest, Seema, still I'm very insecure when it comes to looks, when it comes to body issues. So you just don't want to dress up anymore, and there are times when you feel, I don't want to get anything done. Let people look at me the way they want, and you can't wear dresses, you can't wear your favorite dresses. So the piling on of these incidents did a very bad impact on my mental health, for which I seeked out help last year. There were other issues that I was dealing with, family issues and other childhood traumas. So I felt that I'm just letting this control myself now for far too long and way too much. So I seeked a therapist in Mumbai, and I told him my issues, that this is what I'm going through. So what my therapist helped me understand was, Seema, that you know I whatever happened was, probably those kids who were bullying me also had their reasons. All So there's a very wonderful quote that I read, that if you understand that how many times people coped by projecting, you would learn to take absolutely nothing personally.
Right.
So this is what my biggest takeaway from therapy has been, that maybe they were projecting, maybe I was in a very fragile space of mind that I took it to myself. Definitely, I'm not saying that the lesson for kindness needs to be ignored. That is something that I continue to advocate very strongly till date, in the way I talk to people, in the way I act around people. So nowhere I'm saying that, but yes, it has taught me that I am something much more and above my facial and body hair. So it's just put me on the track of accepting myself, loving myself, and most importantly, being kind to myself.
That's a beautiful way how you put it, Bhumika, and I'm glad therapy helped you. And
Yeah.
definitely, the message of kindness is something that we, as individuals, should learn. Each and every one of us, we need to be kind to
Yeah.
ourselves every now and then. And that quote that you mentioned, it sounds. I mean, I'm hearing it for the first time, but it definitely is a very unique way of looking at people and their behavior. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you could share that with the viewers. And definitely I'm glad that therapy helped you and you could seek that help of a mental health professional. And that's nice. So if we come to the present situation, you are at the
Yeah.
moment, what how is your life today, and how do you feel currently regarding your past experiences, and then the help you got from therapy, and again peer support? What do you want to say about that?
So presently, and I must say, MHT has been a part of this journey, because I still remember the first time I spoke to you. I was still so scared to share my story, and then we spoke on the podcast, and my fear vanished a little bit more. And today, definitely, you must also be feeling that change in me, because
Yeah.
I remember I sort of a little broke down on the podcast last time.
Oh, that's so
So
yeah.
yes, there's a huge change. And I like I said, I see myself much beyond my body, much beyond looks. I have a good career, I'm doing good for myself, people love me for my work, my creativity. And I've resumed dancing again. And
Wow.
I think I'm not in that stubborn that I am who I am phase. I think it's much more of, it's a bit more tender process than that. I know there are few people who have that mindset that I am who I am, you
Yeah.
need to accept me for that. But for me, it's much more of a tender process. It's much taking it slow,
Okay.
because I don't want to rush into anything, because if this has defined my life for so many years, for a good 20 years, I'm sure it deserves a little more time, for unwinding and for untangling it, because I don't want it to come back ever.
Okay.
back to me again. So yeah.
Is wonderfully put by you, because some people definitely, when they get in the procedure of therapy, they want things to happen
Yeah.
instantly. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you are taking your own time, giving it to your own
Yeah.
space, and that's very healthy. And I'm it's happy to know that you're taking this approach on your own rather than somebody, a professional, coming and telling you. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is a very nice message that you're putting across. So I think so. The last question that I want to ask for this conversation is, Bhumika, what do you want to tell the viewers about your experience? I mean, also the ones who are getting bullied, and then definitely the ones who are bullying others, body shaming others. What do you want to
Yeah.
tell them from your story, from your experience?
So, I spoke about this on the podcast as well. My message always in my social media posts or when I talk to people goes out to two set of people. One who are being bullied, and to the ones who are being bullied, it's happening. I mean, there's a phase where you just end up denying that, oh, probably it happens with everyone. Oh, I don't need to be so sensitive about this. I'm sure others are also getting mocked for this. No, it's happening. You need to realize that. And I don't know how you cope with things or how you deal with things, but I think accepting this and taking action accordingly is important. If you can talk to someone who you usually talk to, who you confide in, I think that's the best thing that you can do, because it saves you years and years of that build up. When it gets piled on, I think that does more damage than you know um,
Definitely.
the actual this thing act of bullying. So it is happening, it is very natural. And don't uh, at any point of time think of yourself to be so sensitive, that oh, I'm so sensitive, I'm getting affected by this one small thing. Nothing is small. If it's affecting you, it's affecting you. But at the same time, practice kindness to others. Like, make it a point that you don't repeat it to others. To the ones bullying, again, this is the second set of people I always try and address. You don't know what you say, might just affect that person in the most wrong way possible. Everyone's fighting, everyone's struggling, especially in this pandemic. So they
Yeah,
don't need this. Like, I know sometimes you don't realize, and not everyone can be very mindful of what they say. Not everyone can be careful at all points of time, but you need to be careful, because that's how it's impacting the some part of the people who are existing around you. So yeah, kindness is my motto.
that's a great motto, and that is something that even I abide by, I'll be honest. And
Yeah. Yeah.
again, I really want to thank you for coming on board and speaking of this experience. It's so unaddressed still in India, and
Yeah.
uh, people like you are making this initiative, and I really congratulate you for your venture and your work. Uh, so, Bhumika, let's talk about your blog, and it's called Monster Under My Bed. And people who
Yes.
want to know more about the blog, you can find the details about the blog in the description. But let's hear it from Bhumika. What is this blog about, and what do you want to convey through your writing?
So when I was in therapy, I was told by my therapist that there's too much piled on inside me, and he asked me to just release it and let it out. So before this, I knew I was a good writer, so I just thought of this exercise, writing a blog or blogging about my experiences, as an outlet for myself.
Yeah,
And in the process, I thought that I might just actually help someone who's wanting to hear something similar. Because I remember when I was going through all the struggle, I just didn't have anyone around me who was going through something similar.
yeah,
And So these were like the two purposes of beginning to write a blog, and it's helped me tremendously. It's like I'm writing a journey for myself. I'm writing my own journey. It's not like I've already grown and I'm writing these experiences. Then it's like I'm in the middle of growing, and through that writing I'm actually growing. And the response I've got is very overwhelming, and people have come and told me that, your page is in my bookmarks list,
Wow.
because what you write is so relatable, is so honest and so vulnerable, because that was what my motto was, that, if I'm writing, I'm going to be honest and I'm going to be vulnerable. So it has helped me, and I'm really hoping that it helps that one girl or one boy who's just sitting in the corner of the room thinking that this is the end of the world, because
Yeah.
this is not. So this is just a small initiative. It's called Monsters Under My Bed, and my message is that you don't need to be afraid of these monsters. You can be friends with them, because they're not going away. They'll always be under your bed, but you just need to be friends with them.
That's pretty much the motto of MSC also. And I'm glad we could, have this conversation together and spread that awareness together. And Bhumika, it was beautiful having you. And I so want to thank you again for, coming on board and
Thank
talking
you.
about
Thank you, Seema.
body shaming and bullying in India. Not very, I mean, there are not many people who speak about it. I, for that matter, have seen people being bullied in front of it. And when I wanted to take a stand, I was, pulled down and pulled down by friends, from by teachers and everything. And but I'm glad I got this platform where I could, make a change, bring that, nobody is going to pull me down now. So that's nice to know.
Yeah.
And again, I hope we keep the good work going, and
Yes,
yeah, people find
absolutely.
it helpful, and yeah, that's all we wish for. So thank you so much, and again, viewers,
Thank you,
don't forget
Seema.
to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we hope you enjoyed and found this MHT conversation helpful. uh, we would be coming back with some more conversations in our upcoming video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.